you mentioned the gigs freestyle. How did that all come about? Why did you jump on that track?
Do you know what it was? It pretty much exactly was how I said in the track. My DJ Spoonie sent the track, so spit an acapella on it, then sent it back. If people heard Craig David talking hard on the track, even Tincher Strider said that on the streets it's a rap. And that's how it was. Period. Do you know what I mean? And I was just like, let me put it out there. And it wasn't like who was talking the hardest. Gigs had killed it on that track, and there was no underestimating that. But for me, it was just a case of, look, I'm just going to put a little flex on this. This is my little take on it. Do you know what I mean? I'm walking in the party, girls grinding on me. Do you know what I mean? It's not necessarily the people are smoking my Charlie in the club. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to try and go hard on you in that way. So I put it out there, give it to Spoonie. He gave it to a few DJs. Next thing, I had a whole load of DJs saying, "Come on, man, I need a drop on that." I can't believe you did that. And you know what? It was like putting the cat amongst the pigeons, really. And I didn't expect to have the response. It was almost a very a Marmite kind of bass track, like Mr. Jam said. He said, "Look, you either love or hate it." And to be honest, I was loving the fact that there was more of a positive response from the track than the ones hating it. There's going to be certain people out there like, "Oh, you can't jump on the track, you can't do that." But to just have the front to do it and put it out there, and also giving, again, props to Gigs, because it allowed, again, I'm pushing it subliminally, giving him the respect, saying, look, you killed it from the Stat Quo original over the Dr. Dre track. Wasn't happening at all. That track, really, he should have released and should have kind of used that Talking the Hardest as his hook, because that's the part everyone remembers. As soon as he goes in Talking the Hardest. So I think, to be honest, he could have gone to Dre and said, look, a few years back, Stat Quo, let me use the track, let me put it out there, because I think it's a big hit for him.
There's a lot of talk going on about Dizzy Rascal's recent appearance on Newsnight. What did you make of the whole situation?
Do you know what? I saw a clip of it on YouTube. I looked back on it. And you know what? The way I saw it was that Dizzy was being Dizzy, do you know what I mean? He was saying it as it was, he was being true to himself, and he wasn't going to be and change his ways, do you know what I mean? And I respected him for that. I think the way in which Paxson was interviewing him, I think was taken out of context when they used the part about saying about his Britishness, because he was talking about being British, and it was taken out of context. It would sound wrong asking Dizzy Rascal, so do you consider yourself British? It seemed completely being racist. I think in some of the answers, Dizzy could have been a little bit more, I say, intellectual with the responses. There was a bit of an arrogant kind of swagger to some of it, which kind of like, when he said, "Will you go for president?" And he was like, "Yeah, I might as well myself." I think it kind of, to a lot of people watching it, it kind of fulfilled the stereotype of the hip hop grime MC attitude towards politics and I don't think that was necessarily representational of black people in general. Do you know what I mean? Which the debate was about. But I think Dizzy did his thing. Do you know what I mean? And I think he gave it as he was. He wasn't going to change up his flow. So there's always a 50-50 debate. Should it have been someone different? If 50 Cent had gone up, I think he would have said it's been thugged out and been shot 9 times and the whole. But you know that he says and explains things quite well. He can talk quite well. Do you know what I mean? Was Dizzy the right one to put in there? It's questionable, but I think he was him, and he did Dizzy. Do you know what I mean? And he's having success right now. So to be honest, he was the right person they felt for the time.
Rewind reader Andrew has pointed out to us, he's done his research, that your dad was in a reggae band.
Correct.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Has this led to you having a feel for reggae music? And if so, who are your favourite artists? And do you think you'll ever incorporate that into your music?
You know, I love my reggae music, to be honest. They're heavily influenced by reggae music. If it wasn't Sanchez or Beres Hammond, Gregory Isaacs, wow. Those kind of artists were the ones that kind of set it off for me, and then got me into more of the dancehall stuff with Shabba Ranks and Buju Banton and Bounty Killer. Then led on to me getting into the sound systems of Addis, Mighty Crown, Black Cat, Sound Trooper or Kilimanjaro from back in the day. So I'm very big into my dancehall music. Love it like beyond belief. And there's songs like on the Trust Me record, which She's on Fire, where some people loved it, some people slated because I was doing a bit of a patois kind of like sort of lick on one of the tracks and the little rap. But I love it. Do you know what I mean? Because I can pull it off. There's no one can tell me, but you know that she so what you can't even hold back a fire, make her burn on contact deep like this track. Now whether she don't if you hold back, snares out of them or them a crawl back. No one could tell me that. If they didn't know it was me, they'd be like, Right, that sounds like fresh out of Jamaica. People can front if they want right now and say, nah, it sounds cack, but that's how I'm putting it down. And to be honest, that's from my dad's constant playing of reggae and ragga and dance all from back in the day. So, but yeah, he did his Ebony Rockers thing. He was doing his roots revival stuff.
Has he been instrumental in your success?
Do you know what he has? Because there's an unconditional love that your father will give you and your mother, and the fact of kind of pushing me to do the right thing. The fact that I had a good father figure in my life gave me a responsibility as his son to do him proud. And sometimes you can be a walkover to certain. You always lean to the person who is the lightest touch, the soft touch in your family that you think, I'll get away because my mum might be kind of the soft touch. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, there's hard mums out there as well. But you always lean to the weakest link to try and get what you want. Whereas my dad wasn't having it. If I got caught up in crime or if I was in drugs or anything, to have to face up to my dad, even looking at me was enough to make me cry. Do you know what I mean? And to know that, and it may be a bit back to front as to how people, let's say, the care for kids and to never lay a hand on a child, and maybe I'm old school, but I knew that to cross my dad and to know the possibility that I'd feel the firm hand of my dad made me think, you know what, I'm not going to get involved in none of this. Do you know what I mean? This is not the one because I'm scared of that. And it made me have to be responsible about my actions. Without that in the family, it kind of, and it's not about affirmative action in terms of having to be heavy-handed, but it's making you feel like if you go there, this is what you're delving into. Big man against a child. I think it reinforces that who's the dad, who's wearing the trousers here. Because as soon as you lose that, then a kid will just they'll run riot in that house. As soon as they know that they can take you there, you've lost it. You've lost control. There's no point in trying to come back.